Hi guys, Pete here. Good to see you again. Today's guest is Lorena Kanellopoulos from one of the most famous health and fitness franchise brands in the world. Welcome, Lorena.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you in the studio. It was really nice meeting up in Canberra many months ago and learning more about sort of what you did up there. But just to get started, can you tell us a bit about yourself? You can go in the professional direction or personal, whatever you want to say.
Sure. So, grew up, born and bred in Canberra, um, daughter of a migrant. They arrived in 1975 to Canberra from Chile. They came, the usual story, came to Australia because it was a better place to bring up my brother. I was not thought of at all. I was born the following year in 76. Oh, that tells you how old I am now. And I love Canberra. I have always lived there, studied there, obviously had a family there, married for 27 years, have two beautiful daughters and three dogs. That's
Cool.
me. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
27 years.
27
Wow,
years.
that's something not to just throw away. That's incredible. It, um, not delving in personal stuff, did you have similar interests? How did, your family come here, born a year later? Then how did you meet the love of your life, your soulmate?
Through a friend,
Yeah, cool.
as usual, typical. And we just got along really well. I must say it wasn't love at first sight for me, but apparently it was for Tim. But yeah, and just a genuinely awesome guy,
That's cool.
and yeah,
I love hearing
and
that.
really fell in love with him as a person. So yeah, so we've been together for 30 years, but married for 27,
Cool.
and yeah, it's a cool story from similar backgrounds, but not really. I'm Chilean, he's Greek,
Mm-hmm.
hence the surname.
Yeah.
Um, but we have very similar values. So I think that's what joined us and made us strong in our relationship.
Amazing. And two beautiful daughters.
Yes. Bella
Yeah.
and Yasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm going to get into talking about working with family soon. But before we do that, I just want to go back and talk about what you did before as a career before any time, because I was sort of not straight off, but that was a really pleasant surprise. It was really cool hearing your story. So can you talk a bit about that?
Sure. So I'll go a little bit further back. So I started working when I was 14. My mother really wanted to instill in myself and my brother the importance of working hard and saving money to eventually buy a home, the Aussie dream, as they say. So started cleaning with my mum. My mum was a cleaner. My father was in construction. So started, would go to school, jump in the car, eat dinner in the car, go and work Monday to Friday. And that happened for a number of years. And then I went to study and got an office manager job in a private firm and was the only person that managed the office. And then I had a friend tell me, oh, these jobs at the Australian National University, ANU, you should apply. And I was like, oh, they're casual jobs. This is a permanent job. And she goes, oh, no, look, you must give it a go. So I did. I left my permanent full-time job to do a casual job for 3 months. After that, I just got promoted, did other roles, did some admin, did some HR, worked actually in the Chancellery for council, helping there, then went to the library. Then eventually, we're talking about, I was there for 23 years.
Amazing.
Ended up becoming the director of publishing, so publishing books. And in that job alone, I stayed there for 18 years.
Wow. That's
Yes.
incredible.
So then, my husband turned around. He was part owner of his parents' might as well say it, Fisher Takeaway
Yep.
in Canberra,
Yep.
and they wanted to retire. And he said, "I need to get another job." And I said, "Oh wow!" So my background is business
Yep.
management. So I said, "Oh well, we'll need to buy a business." And he goes, "Okay, what do we do?" And I said, "Let's look at franchising. Let's go and look at McDonald's because you've been in the food industry." And then he had a mate that owned an Anytime Fitness, and he said, "How about we go and see this Anytime Fitness and talk to him about it?" And I said, "Cool." So we spoke to him about it. He said it was awesome. And then one came up on the market, and we ended up buying our first Anytime Fitness and going into the fitness industry in November 2014.
Wow. So from uni, publishing, fish and chips into fitness.
Absolutely.
Both of you together. That's incredible. And when you made that decision, like, how did you guys feel? Like, obviously very confident people. Were you like, after talking to your friend who already owned one, were you all amped up? Were you nervous?
Super nervous. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't wanna leave the ANU. The ANU was a part of me. I'd been there for so long. I studied there. I knew the campus back to front,
Incredible.
upside down. I had built an amazing network over there with academics and colleagues and suppliers. Um, However, we bought our first Anytime, and then within 4 months, we bought our second, and then within 6 months, we bought our third. So
That
within
quick.
that quick, it was
Wow.
bang, 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 2 of them in Canberra and 1 in regional Victoria. And then, the following 3 years later, we bought more, up to 10 businesses, and I was still working at ANU, and so juggling all of it was quite difficult. So we made the decision that I should solely work in our businesses. So I left 5 years ago, and haven't looked back. So
You still
yeah.
stay in touch with people there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I've got
great.
really close friends from the ANU that we still keep in touch, and some academics still call me. So
Really?
it's actually quite nice.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
hearing that.
And I'll always love ANU because it was a big part of my life.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Every 2 months opening another one or at least acquiring another territory. Like, what was the trigger for the next one?
Oh my god, it was just honestly, it was like, "Oh, this has come up. Oh, we must do it. It's an opportunity."
Gotcha.
And we just went, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay." So the first one, I must say, was the hardest. It was
Mhm.
like a completely different industry for me. Yes, I do have the theoretical business side and also practical because I ran ANU Press and built it from the scratch up. So that's, I learnt the foundations and the building blocks there and was wanting to do the same when I took over, Anytime Fitness in Charnwood, and so we did that, and it was hard, but in franchising, you do have system and processes already in place,
Mm.
right? So you continue with those, but then you mold them, with your skills, right? And what you learned previously, you kind of bring. And so then we thought, "Oh, well, we've got that ready, so we can then scale up. We've got 1, why
Mm.
not 2 or 3?" And then it got to 10. Yes.
And so you got 1, 2 in Canberra,
Yeah,
off the bat,
3 in Canberra.
3 in Canberra, and the one in, the third one that you got, the one in Victoria.
Yes.
Why did you make the jump, across the state?
It was quite funny. We have to do franchisee training,
Yep.
and I went, and it's a week of franchisee training. And when you're there, you're all in the same boat. Like
Yeah.
everyone is new, everyone's just coming into the industry, so you get to meet people,
Yeah.
and you make some really solid connections. I'm still really close with a number of franchisees that are still part of the brand,
Mhm.
and one person in particular had bought Anytime Fitness Wangaratta, and he ended up approaching me a year later and said, "Oh, I'd like to sell. Would you be keen in buying?" And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, let's look at the finance, like the books, the P&Ls, and we'll take it from there." And we looked at it and went, "This looks good," and we bought it.
Unreal.
Yeah, so I know it doesn't show that there's a lot of thought process, but there is a lot of thought
Yeah.
process behind it
Yep.
before you jump
Yeah.
in buying a business.
Yeah.
But I've always said you need to have really good people around you. So if you have any questions, you go to your accountant,
Yeah.
to your lawyer, to your mentors, to, people that have been doing this for many, many years, and they can guide you on the way. So
And
we were lucky.
and from the early days when you were, what was, like, the biggest surprise when you first opened, like, Charnwood? Was you got started a month in, 2 months in? Was it what you expected and what you were sold, or anything pop up that was a bit
I think it was, for me, there was no Bible, there was no book that said, "This is what week 1's gonna be like, or week or 2 months or 6 months or a year." I think you had to just kinda throw yourself in there and see how it worked, and that's one thing that I think is super important for people to understand, that like any business, you should learn from the bottom
Mm.
and work yourself up, because then you actually understand how it all works.
Yeah.
There's no point of going in there and just being a leader or just being the boss
Yeah.
and not actually know how to sell a membership or how to do customer service or,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think it was the volume of people as well, how
Yep.
many people would come in, how many inquiries, um, staffing's always an issue. Some might
Bit of
not
a
be.
Jeez, it is. Hey, I think
Yeah,
it's the scariest bit
it
of
is.
any business.
Yeah.
They're the best and worst things, people in your teams. They can be the best thing on the planet. They can be also the worst thing on the planet, depending who you come across. So how did you recruit for that very first location in those early days?
So because it was already a business, we met the staff that were there.
Yep.
We offered them the jobs to stay. And funny enough, the person that was there ended up being with us for 10 years.
Wow.
So, and being in the brand 11 years. So
Love hearing.
it was great. And, she learnt with us, we learnt with her.
Yep.
And we became really, really good friends, which was lovely.
Nice.
She's now taking care of her children and being a mum. And we continued doing business, with Anytime Fitness. So
That's awesome.
our daughters grew up in the business, which I know you want to talk about.
Yeah.
When we bought Charmwood, our eldest was only 15 at the time,
Okay.
and
Yep.
our youngest was 11. So again, I've always worked long hours in the roles that I've worked in, but at the same time, this is a 24/7
Mm.
business. So
Yeah.
it was a little bit different. So sometimes we do get calls in the middle of the night. Sometimes we might need to go and visit the club. So
Yeah.
it was a real eye opener in that sense.
And from obviously, I'm not gonna say desk job. You clock in, clock out. Everything's set up for your ANU versus Moretti's a 24/7 model, literally. From an adjustment period when you made the decision to leave ANU completely and lock straight in, because you're already doing it over a period of time, were you a lot more confident? Was there anything you noticed just from yourself about the complete change in environment that you liked or didn't like?
Well, it had been 6 years. So we had run these businesses for 6 years and I was still at the ANU.
Yeah.
So, I gave myself plenty of time
Mhm.
when I was ready to do that. And I felt really comfortable in leaving the ANU because I'd given 23 years to
Yeah.
them as well.
Incredible.
But yeah, it was an adjustment. I lived in a corporate world.
Yeah.
I now did not live in a corporate world. I lived in the fitness industry.
Mhm.
So therefore didn't need to be suited up every
Yeah.
day. I could wear, tights and sneakers and just, walk to work. So that was a bit of an adjustment. The professionalism was a bit different as well. So you're talking to just
We have some people from the gym industry in here now in the office, and it was a huge adjustment. The first few weeks, they struggled.
yeah.
We've had that actually probably 3 or 4 people from the gym industry for customer service, best in the world when you're on the front desk, and, yeah, you definitely see it. So vice versa, going from a suit into that. I'm not gonna say it's unprofessional, it's a more casual culture.
No, it's a casual
Yeah.
culture. Yeah, that's right. And in the sense it was
So
cool,
nice.
it was nice. It wasn't so I had to be careful, how you spoke or um, your emails can be a little bit more laid back. But yeah, I think everyone is different,
Mhm.
but I've been brought up in an environment with my parents that you just keep on going.
Yeah.
Whatever you're given, you
Mhm.
just deal with it
Yep.
and you keep on going. And I think I was the only girl in the family as well, so I was brought up to be quite tough. So it's like, you keep on going.
So from mum down to you teaching you that, obviously having your daughters grow up in the business, how is it working with family?
Look, I've loved it.
Yep.
I never previously worked. Like I worked with my mum cleaning, as I
Yep.
said at the beginning, but
Okay.
then after that, that was that. I had my eldest work with us first,
Yep.
because our youngest was too young to work. And then she went off and did her career in commercial real estate. And
Cool.
I'm super proud of her and she loves it, which is the main thing. You just want your kids
Yep.
to love what they do. And then my youngest has come in and is working with us. So she's currently studying her business degree in majoring in marketing. And so she's taken on the role of digital marketer for our business. And she's absolutely loving it and she's absolutely killing it. She's doing such a great job. I'm super, super proud of her. And she's wanted to always be part of the business.
Nice.
And, it can be, challenging at times, because once we leave work, we go home and we
Yeah.
still talk about work. And sometimes you have to go, okay, well, that's enough now.
Mm.
We're at home now and we're going to be a family. So, but the beauty about having your kids work for you, and even if I need Bella, my eldest, to do something, they'll step it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because their work ethic is like our work ethic, because that's how we brought them up. And not necessarily all 20-year-olds have these work ethics now. So for us, it's like, oh, we need help. Can you help us with this? And they're like, yep, absolutely. So
Good.
I've learnt so much from them.
Yeah.
And I think they've learnt a thing or two from myself and Tim. So.
The ability to switch off, I was gonna actually ask you that,
Yeah.
but you've already touched on it. Like, how do you give yourselves breaks? How do you switch off when it's a 24/7 model? You have to be always on.
You know, sometimes it's me going, okay, we're not talking about this anymore.
Yep.
Like, we will talk about it tomorrow
Yep.
when we're back at work.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like a bit like, oh, really? And it's like, well, yeah, no, because we need to have dinner.
Yeah.
We need to, do stuff here and talk about,
What else you up to?
life, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to get to the end result straight away, but sometimes it's getting a little bit heated.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's time to cut that. So.
Speaking of life, like everyone talks about Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. What's Canberra like?
Oh my God. I know everyone says Canberra, so boring, who would want
Cold
to
continent, isn't it?
boring, cold, right? Yeah, Canberra can be cold in winter. Absolutely.
When I first saw you, I was dying.
I know.
Well,
And we can have really warm
yeah.
summers as well. What I love about it is Canberra is quite dry.
Yep.
So you don't have the humidity,
Yeah.
and you have the 4 seasons.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, really hot in summer, really cold in winter. We are only an hour away from the snow, and we're an hour and 45 minutes from the beach. So yes, we're inland.
Yep.
And it is just such a pretty city.
Yep.
Like, if people haven't had a chance to go to Canberra, I highly recommend it.
It's really neat.
Very neat.
Yes.
It wasn't built. It's a big country town, I call it, because it's not a big city,
Agreed.
right? And it's been built in that way.
Yeah.
And so you've got these plush, ovals and greenery and trees. We've got the War Memorial. We've got the Parliament House. We have, the gallery. We've got the Portrait Gallery. We've got all really lovely things. So, and super safe.
I think Tourism Australia should talk to you.
But I will never say anything bad about Canberra. The cuss. Yeah, so that happens every January. I think you'll have a few people not happy about having the summer naps in Canberra, but it's, it's tourism. It needs to, inject that money back into the capital. And it is a fun few days. I personally don't go to the summer nats, but I'll go to this place called Braddon, which the cars will drive around, because my husband is a car freak, and so is my brother. And so I'll go with them. Oh, look, I like cars. I'm not going to lie, but they like them more. So
I grew up in Shepparton, so we had the spring nats.
Oh.
I've only went to the summer nats. So same king, same cars,
Yeah.
different town. They did a tour around Australia. So
it's crazy. It's become huge. Like, the tickets sell out really quickly now, so you need to get online before.
they're awesome.
Yeah,
Different.
yeah, different. But yes, love Canberra.
Speaking of Canberra, and obviously any times in the really, really competitive space, talking about the fitness space in Canberra, like in terms of, what's the offering in there? What can people expect if, from the area, and like, how competitive is it? Or is it more, if you talk about a large country town, is it less competitive than you say?
Super competitive. We've got lots of gyms. We've got Anytime, of course. We've also got Club Lime. We've also got Snap.
Yeah.
We don't have Jets. They're about to open a Planet Fitness, and they're about to open its first world gym, also in Canberra. So that's just recently. It's going to be in a couple of weeks.
That's all in recent times.
That's just recently. So very, very competitive. I mean, for us, anytime is anytime. It's premium. It's, top notch. We're there to take care of you, to help you through your fitness and health needs. We care.
Yeah.
Other clubs, not necessarily, or other brands are like that. It's some people don't want to talk to people when they walk through the door, but we want to welcome them. We want to make sure that we're there to support them. So, a gym is a gym, and I understand that. Everyone's got treadmills and dumbbells, and weights
Mm.
and I think it's what you want, is what you'll get
Yeah.
out of a gym.
I think that's good. I think that's a good thing about the model, the 24/7 model. I think it's crazy that all the big boxes are going in there now. It's obviously a credit to the area. It's obviously growing,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
um, from if you're talking about support, what about the relationship with head office? Like, how does, the national team, support you and
Look, we are really, really lucky to have a really strong support office. They help us with the marketing. They help us with, business needs,
Yep,
strategies, legal, HR.
yep,
We've got it all, right?
awesome.
Which is awesome. I have been part of the advisory, the Anytime Advisory Group for a few years and also the marketing committee. So I am really close with the support office and love the guys over there. I've been in the brand for 12 years now. So,
Awesome.
I've also built my network with Anytime. And the beauty about these is the franchisees, they're us, in general, are super smart and business savvy. And
Mm,
when we get together, I must say that's probably the best time to network and chat, which happens once a year when we go to conference. Um, so no, the support staff are always there to support us whenever we need. We also have performance coaches. So if we have anything that's a little bit tricky, we can lean on them and say, what do you think we should do here? Or, I was thinking of doing this. Is
yeah,
that kind of what
yeah,
you would want us to do? So
awesome.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
It's funny you say about the business because your skill set, how they've transferred into the health fitness space. I feel like a lot of operators either come from corporate,
Yeah,
maybe a trade. They had nothing to do with health and fitness. The most successful people I know actually thinking about it don't come from that space. So they come from the business space or a trade. So
that's
is
right.
that what you see through the network itself?
So we've got people from hospitality, as you said, builders that have now bought into the
Yep.
brand because they were actually building Anytime Fitness clubs and
Uh,
gone, oh, this is really cool,
that's awesome.
and then
Yeah.
have decided to buy into it as well. Electricians, um,
Oh,
accountants,
wow.
yeah, so a whole variety. And one of the things I did learn when I was at ANU, because I also did a few roles in student recruitment, is that when you do a degree, it's actually very transferable. So those soft
Mm,
skills. There's lawyers that never become lawyers, but become CEOs or become business owners or etc.
yeah.
because those skills are so transferable.
I think someone like yourself that's so driven and motivated, it's hearing that stuff, it makes complete sense. It just shocked me about people that sort of sit back and just wait for their perfect job the whole time and go, I've done this, I have to stay in this lane. Now more than ever, especially we see in our space, AI coming in now, in 5, 10 years now, potentially investing in a gym, the 24/7 model is a great option to come in and transfer those skills across and
Always, always a great option.
yep.
And to be completely honest, they're worth quite a bit of money now compared to what they were 12 years ago. And that just proves to you that the model works,
Yep.
right? And if people, it is a risk. We're not going to lie, it's you probably need to put your house up, or something like that. And if things go wrong, as we all know, back in the day, we had COVID, right? And that really hurt a lot
Yes.
of people. And my advice to most people is, firstly, if you're going to buy into particularly a franchise business,
Mm.
make sure that you're not just buying it because of the brand, it's because of your passion as well, what you love, right?
Mm.
But second of all, make sure that you are financially savvy. If you're not financially savvy, have someone that can help you with that. So may that be your accountant that looks at numbers and says, this is not for you, or yeah,
Mm.
you should give it a go. And as I said before, have quality people around you that can help you. But always have money on the side because you never know what can happen. That money on a rainy day, put it
That
aside.
they will have or eating into now themselves.
Yeah,
But before COVID, we look at cinema, we see a lot of the brands doing much, much better now than they were prior to that. Are you seeing that down in Canberra?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with the gym's not always just about, the standard losing weight, right?
Mm.
A lot of people want to just be fit.
Yep.
It's preventative
Yep.
more than the doctor saying, "Oh my god, you better go to the gym," but also mental health.
Yeah.
A lot of people, go there because it just helps them.
Yeah.
get on with their day. So
Super important.
super important, and we
Get that.
see more and more of that. And I think the younger generation are more switched
Yeah.
on about that. Like so they do back in the day, my day,
Mm.
we used to play sports. But now they do this combination of sports and gymming,
Mm.
right? Or if they're
Interesting.
not, or if they're not, sports people,
Mm.
even gamers are wanting to come to the gym,
That's
because, they sit in that chair for hours and hours and hours and they need to be a bit more fitter. But like we have such a variety of people.
yeah.
And that's the beauty about a gym. It doesn't matter what your age
Yeah.
is. You can come.
Who's the, I don't know if you can answer it. Who are the best and worst groups in the gym to have as members?
Oh, uh, you know what? I think it is super cool having the oldies because the oldies, they come in and they just want to have a bit of a chat and they might even grab the dumbbell for 10 minutes, but it's more for them because they're lonely,
Yeah.
right? The worst I would have to say is, the teenagers, they make a mess,
Yeah.
they don't clean up after themselves. They're quite loud. But yeah, look, it actually brings atmosphere to the gym
Yeah.
as well. So it's a bit like at home. Like when your kids aren't home, you're like, oh my God, it's dead silent here. Like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Right.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like
Noise is good.
noise is good. So I think it's great that we have such a variety of people.
That's good. Always get different answers with that one.
It's a tricky one, I
It
would
is.
say.
There's data out. Yeah, it's interesting to see. But definitely throwing equipment around when you're young kids.
Mm.
I still remember training the first time up in Shep and picking up doing a bench press the first time. I think I was so strong I could barely push 20 kilo bar back then. But yeah, good memories, fun memories.
And that's why we make sure that the young'uns have an orientation, like
Yes.
because they don't know, right? They think
Yeah.
they know,
Yep.
but they actually don't know. So it's super important that they're with a PT, teaches them how to use the equipment,
Yeah.
so they don't hurt themselves, right?
Have you got a big PT bottle in your gyms?
No, we don't actually. Back in the day was more than now. I think there's so much online coaching now. So people jump on that,
Yep.
or the young people in particular, and they tell them what to do while they're at the gym.
Yep.
We do still have PTs. We still have PTs on the floor doing classes and things like that, but not as much as back in the day.
From so have you got 8 active gyms now in your portfolio?
Yes,
8, cool. And I did touch on earlier about the Wangaratta, but you've also got some in Queensland.
that's right.
Um, can you talk to me about how you manage your time amongst the network itself?
Yeah, it's challenging, but Tim and I break ourselves up. He'll go to Queensland sometimes. I'll stay back. I'll go to Queensland, or we'll go together. We try to go to the gyms that aren't in Canberra every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, cool.
We're very hands-on owners. Some owners aren't, and that's fine, but we are. We like to know what's going on in our business. We want to go and see what's going on. We want to see how our team is going, if they have any concerns or where we can help them to grow. Um, so yes, there is a lot of traveling. There's a lot of time in the car. There's a lot of time in airports. But we also get together through Zoom calls or Teams, and we try to do that with the team at least twice a week.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty hands-on. That's very hands-on
very hands-on.
for that space. That's cool. And do you notice anything different between the states? Is there any sort of between a Queensland gym versus Canberra or Victoria?
I would say the biggest difference is where they are. So the
Yeah.
demographics of the suburb of where they are, more than actually the state.
What's the demographic of Wang these days? I played
Uh,
footy there years ago.
Yeah. Look, I think they're quite young. There's a lot of people that don't ever leave Wangaratta, for example. Yeah. So there's generations after generations.
Yeah.
And they're big AFL
Yes.
because it's Melbourne, as opposed to Queensland and ACT are more rugby league. We've got the Raiders, obviously,
Yeah.
and then in Queensland they've got all these great teams now. So they've got the Titans and
Yeah.
the Dolphins, and the Broncos have always been there. So I would say it's more about the demographic.
Yeah.
And even when we do a state of origin kind of like member appreciation day, Wang doesn't really go off with that.
No.
It's all about the footy in their sense is the
Yeah.
AFL.
That's scary how accurate the stereotypes are.
Absolutely.
Those are stereotypes. So you've been going 12 years now
12
in the brand.
Yes.
Have you got more plans to grow or consolidate?
Look-
What's on the plans that
Look,
you can
I'm Our goal was always to get to 10,
Cool.
which we did, and then we scaled back because we wanted to readjust our portfolio. So we were actually across 4 states. We were across ACT, New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland.
Wow.
We decided that we would drop this New South Wales, New South Wales, and focus more in Queensland.
Okay. Cool.
The Sunshine State,
Mhm.
paradise,
Yeah.
and it is very beautiful up there. So yeah, that's what we did. So we decreased our portfolio to then possibly ramp it up. So yes, there's always opportunities. It just depends what opportunities they are, but we also want to diverse our portfolio, which we did do originally. We also owned a Pilates studio,
Wow.
and we also owned supplement stores.
Oh. So you got extensive any of these also franchise models? The Pilates and the supplement brands?
They were, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, they still are. Yeah.
And how are they compared to the 24/7? So you've got how are they compared in terms of support and all that sort of stuff if you had to line them up?
Isn't it funny? So we had elite supplement stores,
Sure.
and their support was great.
Yeah,
There was no
awesome,
dramas there, but it's very much retail, right? And so we decided we wanted to focus solely on Anytime Fitness, and that's why we also gave up the Pilates studio because the Pilates studio is actually more hands-on than Anytime Fitness because when you don't have an instructor that can go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, the person needs to go and do the class.
Did you take any classes?
I did not.
Oh.
I was not a qualified instructor, thank God,
Okay.
because if not, my business partner was. So, and that was a big burden for her. So for us, it was let's just do what we do well, which is buy Anytime Fitnesses that are established and grow them. And so we continue to do that.
That's very cool. And on the retail front, was it? I mean, I've worked in like JB Hi-Fi and Big W. I love retail. I think
Yep.
it's awesome customer service, great environment. Is that just like running inventory checks the whole time?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then going, "Okay, we need to buy more stock."
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and then making sure they haven't expired, and if they're close to expiring, putting them out on the table and so it was a different world, right? Not a
Yep.
bad world, just
Yep.
different.
That's great. Yeah.
And we thought, "Nah, we're just gonna stick to what we know and
Yeah.
continue growing in the Anytime Fitness arena."
And busy, obviously, throughout your whole career. From yourself, have you got like, I don't know how to ask this question properly, but was there a time where you're the most happy? Like, was there an event over the last 12 years and where I knew that you were, you know what, this is amazing. This is awesome.
I would have to say there's particular milestones, right?
Mm.
And I think at ANU, I loved Open Day because all the students would come and look at.
Really, we're next to Swinburne. It looks crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, wow. And the second part would be graduation. So I was part of the graduation party. So I actually had to wear, the Harry Potter
Oh, yeah.
things, and I did that for 10 years.
Wow.
And we would have 10 graduations at a time. So, and these graduations would take, between 1 and 2 hours. So we'd be on the stage with heat lamps, but seeing their smiles coming up to get their degree or their master's or their PhD was amazing. I clapped for every single student that walked across that stage. And, it was like, because I'm a mother, I was just so proud. And I got to do that when my eldest graduated as well. And
So
it's just such a proud thing. And I'll get to do it, hopefully, knock on wood, when Yasmine finishes this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that would be one. The other one would be any time when we were in the top 3 for, top club of the year
Wow.
or franchisee of the year. So those kind of milestones. We didn't win,
Doesn't matter.
but it was
That's a massive network.
Yeah.
The fact that you're down to the last 3, it's incredible.
Exactly. And an acknowledgement that, we're obviously we're doing okay, so that was good. I also have spoken in regards to Anytime Fitness and when I used to own an Extend bar at, Fitness Expo. So that's been great. Building at ANU the press from scratch to what it is now, and it's very successful still, which was very emotional for me. When I left, it was.
I can hear it in your voice. You talk about it.
Yes, it was really emotional because it was my baby. I mean, it had a lot of people involved in it, but for me, it was my baby. So it was, that was a huge milestone for me. And then having my kids, right?
It's the best.
It's, I don't know, you can't describe the love that you have for your children. It's undescribable. So there's been so many milestones in my life. First 50 years of my life. Let's see what the next 50 years, right? Let's see what happens the next 50 years.
So,
Thank you for
incredible.
February. Yeah.
I think you can celebrate for the whole year.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
Yeah. So look, if we fast forward next couple of years, do you get back to that 10 mark if everything goes well? And
Yeah, possibly, but we are hoping to expand our portfolio to the UK.
awesome.
So,
Exciting.
yeah, it is exciting. So we went over there and had a look
Great.
and yeah, we'll see what happens. If it's meant to be, it will be.
I noticed
That
they tapped a few Aussies in the head to duck over.
that's
I
right.
won't say names, but some
Yeah.
key people in your head office team here, and they've gone over there and set up shop, which is amazing.
I know. So we have, as I said, they're setting up a support office as strong as it is here in Australia.
Wow.
So the master franchisees, which are Richard Peel and
Yep.
Justin McDonald, they have also got the master franchisees now in the UK. So this is why, we're hoping to also be part of that journey.
It goes off.
Yeah, so
Right.
we were only there for a week to look at things, but yeah, super exciting. But
Cool.
I really want to pull back a bit, as well and spend more quality time with my family. So that's with the girls and
Yep.
parents, and that would be more of a goal than keep on ramping it up. We'll ramp it up a little bit, but not as much as we did back in the day.
It's awesome that hear you say it too, that you're in a position at such a young age and that you got so much ahead of you to enjoy. And it'd be crazy to talk to you next time about the experience once you get UK set up and running if you go down that path.
Yes.
Comparing the different countries too. I think definitely demographics and definitely for the space to work with the online is very different to Australia. The way they sign up a lot faster, they use a lot more. They're a lot more advanced in terms of tech sign-ups and stuff.
We went to see a few clubs. I mean, there's Anytime there already, but there's like people that are on a waiting list.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we were like shocked, what do you mean a waiting list? Because yeah, they believe their capacity in
Yeah.
that club
Ama-
to service
Yeah.
their members. And like, I was astonished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and it sounds weird, but it is a common thing.
Wow.
Like they do well. I mean, but like you said at the start, it's really important to say openly, look, for everyone that does really well, there's some people that don't do as well. But if it goes right, it's pretty incredible.
Look, we've been very blessed, and I mean that. You might say we happened to be there at the right time. You can
That's life, though.
That's
business.
life,
You take advantage of it.
Exactly. You take it or you don't.
Yeah.
And we were willing to take that risk and we were willing to do it. So, Tim and I are like yin and yang. So he's all over the equipment and refreshes and all of that. And I do the business stuff. So, yeah, we complement each other really well. And Yasmine coming in with the marketing side. And if Bella wants to come eventually, if she wants to be part of the business, she'll also take on the commercial side. So
That's pretty amazing.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
And
much.
absolutely everything. Once you do go over to the UK or do something different, we'll get you back in, have another chat. I'd love to keep continuing talking to you.
Thank you so much.
If you're okay with it, I know your daughter's in the room. We'll do a little small segment with your daughter, if that's okay.
I'd love you to.
We'll go for that.
Okay,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining the podcast. Nice to meet you again.
Thank you.
I was saying to your mum, I remember when I first met you, obviously you look a bit similar, but your aura that you had in the gym was so confident and also a nice casualness about you that you're very comfortable in your own skin when I first met you. Talking to your mum previously, can you talk to me about sort of your version of events starting out? I think I know you were 14 or 15 when the gym started. Is that correct?
11.
11, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mixed up already with sisters.
Yes.
How was when you first started working the gym? Can you talk about that
Yes.
in the early days?
I remember that I used to work at a supplement store before, and then I went into fast food and I hated it. And I begged my mum to give me a job, and she was like, "No, not till you're old enough." And I was like, "Damn it!" Finally, when she gave me the job, I was like, "Oh my God, I can do this for the rest of my life." Like I really
So
liked
cool.
it, the whole atmosphere, and yeah, I always really enjoyed it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
about the atmosphere, we're talking about the demographics from young kids, teenage boys throwing weights around all the way to golden oldies.
Yeah.
What's sort of your favourite group in the gym when you're in there?
Oh, that would be a hard one. I'm not too much of a people person, if I would be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I do love like a girl influencer. They're so fun.
Yeah.
They're super good to talk to. I get along with them really well. So I would say that girls normally in the gym are my cup of tea.
So if you're not a people person, you've
Yes.
done retail, working in a gym, then how are you so good at it?
I think sometimes I do struggle, but I think that how my mum and dad raised me is kind of how I can combat not being a people person. I can go home and I can say to mum, that was a really unenjoyable time, but I'll never have the person know that it was an unenjoyable time, if that makes sense.
That sounds pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Chat. Give me a compliment about your mum.
Oh, my mum, she's my best friend. She is truly my best friend. She's my boss. She's my best friend. But yeah, we're super close. I tell her absolutely everything that you probably shouldn't tell your mum. But I think that
I think that's healthy.
yeah, I think that she is just so kind and wise.
Yep.
Like not judgmental at all. Like you'll tell her something and maybe you didn't want to hear the advice that she gave you, but like afterwards you're like, oh, that was definitely the right advice.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
That's very honest.
I nearly cried.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to
could have
because
asked-
the camera's there.
I could have asked
but-
one question that would have made you cry.
Yeah,
And what's it been like? Like you've got obviously had both daughters go through, still working together today. And when when I first met you, you got the same, you had a nice aura about you. So that's what I meant about, even though you weren't sort of, say you're a people person, you give off a nice, I want to say, it sounds maybe weird to you, but a nice vibe of authority, knowing that I could go to you for a great question, you give me a good answer. Exactly what you're saying about your mum just then. So what's it been like? We sort of talked about having the daughters through, but having Yasmine, not Jasmine, in the first few, the first few months and stuff like that. How was it?
Look, I didn't know how much she would end up enjoying it. And so for me, I've always said to the girls, I want you to do something that you love, right? And I don't want you to be in our businesses just because we have businesses. If you want to go and do something completely different, that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so surprised how Yasmine just, it was just part of the furniture. Like she just kind of like arrived and that was it. She was going to be here forever. And she was up for the challenge. She wanted to learn more and more. She started off like everyone else, like a membership consultant, from the bottom, and then, then did an assistant club manager job, and then, learned everything. And then she started university and she wanted to do business, and then she decided she wanted to major in marketing, and she said, I want to do this, Mum. I want to be digital marketing. And I said, awesome. Go for it.
Awesome.
Let's see how you go and if you need any support. And I must say, even just coming here to do this podcast, Yasmine even said it's been a pleasure working with Ash and LT because she's learnt so much from you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, yeah.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah. So she's really enjoyed it, but
That's really cool.
I feel really honoured and proud, and I'll try not to cry because I'm an emotional person. But I'm so proud of both of them, and I'm so glad that they love what they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying about the lessons that your mum and dad were sort of teaching along the way, but also the freedom they've given you to mold yourself,
Yeah.
I think is really cool.
Yeah.
You're allowed to get emotional. It's family. I was getting emotional hearing you talk before. With the gym environment, and not from a people person point of view too, but the gym, and a lot of people don't understand the gym space and the marketing in that space is quite repetitive, month in, month out, annual, you could benchmark month to month, that sort of stuff. How do you sort of handle that? How do you get yourself up each month? Usually a new offer or a new way of talking to someone. How do you combat I want to say repetitiveness or the routine sort of a gym itself?
Yeah.
How do you go about, embracing that and enjoying it?
I think that what I learnt through you guys, to be completely honest, I was taught in uni that analytics is super important. But no one likes reading analytics, let's be honest. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're important. But sitting with Ash and sitting with you guys, I was like, oh, it is super important.
Yep.
So I think that I know every single one of my gyms so well that I know what works there. And I know that I have such a good job that I can just sit on my phone for a couple of hours and just doom scroll every single social media platform and know what's working well in my suburb, my city, Queensland, like all of that stuff. I just have to. I was saying to Ash that just before that I have like this folder of all this content that I need to do, and like every week I pick 4 videos and then 2 videos go out each week of those 4 videos.
So that discipline that your mum taught you
Yes.
transfers across into work, which is super important. We're talking about transferring skills.
No, absolutely.
I think uni teaches you that too, though.
Absolutely.
Uni's got mixed reviews at the moment because of whatever reasons in the world, but it does teach you the discipline you need, especially the analytical stuff.
Yes.
In business, you have to know the data.
Yes.
The data points are super important.
Absolutely. If not, you how could you do your job
Yeah.
well?
I think it doesn't, if you don't really enjoy the data stuff, so many gaps in your knowledge.
Yep.
So you're only, not a con artist, but you're sort of guessing too much.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. I think when I first started digital marketing, like I didn't go to uni for digital marketing. I went to uni to do management first because that's what my sister and my mum did. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do business, but I didn't really know what avenue. And they are really good people. My mum and my sister, like they're really good with people. And I was doing so many like HR courses and stuff like that. And I was like, this is not my thing. Like, what am I going to do? Yeah. And then I did one marketing unit and I was like, oh, wait, this is like so much more fun.
Yeah, HR's brutal. Don't do that.
It was so brutal. Yeah. Like I was like, so many things to remember. And I was like, wow, it wasn't my vibe. But when I did that marketing unit, it was a media and communications one. So it was literally just like taking photos, taking videos, editing, some graphics and stuff. And that's what I started with. The K group, I started doing graphics first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When did you like talking to us about the data and stuff like that too? Mm-hmm. When did you start getting excited about it?
I did a unit in uni called Big Marketing Analytics, and I was telling my sister, "Oh my god, I have to do this unit so I can get my major. It's going to be so hard." And she was like, "It is going to be so hard. You're probably going to fail." Like she was saying that because I'm not because I'm not very good at maths. So I was like, "Oh, okay." When I did it, I was like, "Oh, like it's not too bad. It's really just like pie graphs and stuff, to be honest." But it wasn't too bad. But I had to do a profile and I had to run it for X amount of time, and then I had to see the analytics for X amount of time. So it was really cool to see like what does well and what doesn't. And I wasn't just like freeballing everything. And it was after I did that course, I then started looking at the analytics with Ash because I remember our cluster manager decided that she wouldn't do the marketing side of stuff, that she would give it all to me. Yep. So it was only going to be me and Ash doing the marketing. So I was like, oh, okay. So I had to read all the analytics because it wasn't a part of her job anymore. So I had to read all the analytics. I had to tell mum if it was performing well, talk about budgets with Ash. It was like, put my big shoes on. And I had to learn it all. And then I was like, oh, I actually have to like figure out if these ads are going to do well or not, or then it's just going to be a waste of time.
It's all real world.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, actually has a real impact on the business.
Yeah.
From working with, how is it working day to day with mum, dad, sister in the early days? You still loving it?
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
I think that I share an office with my mum. Like we are super close.
Yeah.
I think that from when I was an assistant club manager in the gym, it wasn't really my thing. Like I wasn't very good at it. And I feel like it wasn't that good for our relationship because I wasn't that good at it and I didn't love my job and I didn't love the space that I was in. But when I went into marketing and social media with the gyms, I was like, oh my God, I love it. I feel like I have a new profound love for my team as well.
That's awesome.
I love my casuals and I love obviously my mum and dad, but they take me to all these fun things. Like they obviously took me here.
Yeah.
The sites when they're building a new gym, I get to go and I get to take photos and videos. It's super cool.
What people don't realize is, and when we first started this thing, the way we connected with gyms back in the day was saying, if someone wants to get in shape, what do? Put a program together.
Yeah.
Marketing is exactly the same.
Yeah.
When you look at all the touch points, do an assessment and you put a plan in place to go forward. The discipline that your mum's got, that was really great talking to you about it all. Obviously it's transferred, it's obvious. Do you guys, from a marketing perspective, before you plan everything out, how do you tackle that? Do you sit down as a group? How do you go about planning out the next few months?
Yeah. We have the promotions that Anytime Fitness gives us.
Yep.
I talk to Ash about them, about how they're performing. Sometimes he tells me, maybe this one will do better, but sometimes I'm like, wait, no, we'll do this one because then the next month we'll do better. Like we plan it all out, and then I come back to mum and I give her the dot points of why I think that we should do this promotion, what types of graphics I can give her. But when it comes to all the social media and stuff, I normally sit down with the cluster manager, and I sit down with a couple of my casuals that are really good with social media, and
Awesome.
I give one of them their videos for the month, and then I give the other one their videos for a month, and then I make a little calendar and I tell them, okay, Sam, on these days we're doing this one, and Hannah, on these days we're doing this one.
So for not being a people person, you're a pretty good people person. The fact that you're becoming a leader, you're managing, you're doing all that, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing more complicated than that.
Yeah.
What are your sort of future plans? I know your sort of sister's gone down a different path.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of doing?
I think I want to stay in marketing. I love the gym, obviously. It's like the only like hobby that I truly have is going to the
And
gym.
did you say you go every day?
Yes, I do go every day.
literally, you
Yes.
train every day. Wow.
Yes. Sometimes I take a Sunday off because like a bit hungover, but
Balance.
yeah,
Balance.
honestly.
Yeah.
But no, I have to go every day. I have to go before work. Like it's like a full routine.
And what are you training? What's the...
I am doing a program right now, but it's honestly just a busy program because I struggle to wake up normally.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, I go to the gym and I do not get distracted, and I want to be there like for 45 minutes max, and I
Awesome.
need to get out.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, I do a program that's going to take me 45 minutes and then I'm done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Your mum was telling us about some potential future growth international.
Yes.
Are you excited about that?
I am super excited. Like I always get a bit nervous because, you know, I finish uni this year. This is like
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
a really, really big thing.
This is like my first big girl job.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, Jesus, this is a very big girl job.
Some of the richest people in this country do what you do.
Yes.
And so it is a big, it's not just big person job. It's like, it is a big deal. I think that hearing you talk about it the way you do, the training, the systems, the processes, the fact that you believe in them, and then you're deep diving yourself, bringing your own spin to everything like that.
Yeah.
I think you give yourself some more credit. You're definitely a people person.
Yeah.
And I think it's the stuff that you're talking about, the fact that if it's not your favorite thing, like you want to go and chill out at home and not talk to people, I get it, trust me.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that you're sort of going through that process, following the systems, adding your own flavor to it all, being disciplined, graduating at uni this year, then the world's your oyster next year. So you're going to go full time, like more hours in? And
Yes,
Cool.
I will go full time. I'm very close to full time right now because I do online uni. So I do it all on my pace. So it's super chill.
Yeah, she's been very driven. Both the girls were very driven. They always did like 30 to 34 hours a week on a
full-time job anyway.
university load. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And you're saying earlier that you may sort of step back in certain things and stuff.
I was hoping, yeah. That's my plan.
That
So
is awesome.
I've
That's
Yeah. Like I know, I was saying to Ash just before, I know that they want to step down. They want to just live life. And I understand that. Obviously, it will make me super sad when the day comes because I'll be like, damn it, I have to share my office with someone else. But I have full faith that whoever they do bring in, always I gel with well because they have to mesh with her personality. And I feel like I am like a copy and paste of
What
my
if that
mum.
person's you though?
I don't think that it will be. But I think I'll always be in their head office. And when the day comes that I'll take everything, which is super fun, when me and my sister take everything, I think we'll be fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thanks for joining us. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you
Have a
too.
nice chat.
Thanks
And thanks for all the compliments to Ash. That's going to
I know, right?
I know,
grow his head
right?
even more.
I know.
Thanks.
But no, appreciate.
No, thank you for coming.
Thank
Great to
Pete.
see you. Appreciate
Likewise.
you.